Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Monday afternoon, October 12th. We're looking at the SPY ETF's market profile here on Window Trader. And the bulls relentless again as we gap higher for the third day in a row. Really don't look back. Have four sets of single prints. We had five at one point. End up with four. But we also end 7 wide. Kind of unusual. We didn't stop one time framing down the H period. We never got an inventory correction. If I had been trading, I announced every trade. Believe it or not, I played from the short side all day. I would have basically broken even. I was in a hole, but believe it or not, I wasn't in a hole because I faded the trend day all the way up, folks. I was in a hole from this trade here for the most part because I thought once we finally stopped the one-time framing, we would get more of a inventory correction and fill these set of single prints. Well, obviously that wasn't the case, so that trade would have hurt me as we went up and had a reversal bar. But I scalped very nicely after that in I, K, L, M as far as shorts, and would have made it all back and basically broken even on the day. Why wasn't I long? Well, it never gave me the pullback that I really wanted. The only time I could have and should have probably been long was in C period. Once it couldn't fill those single prints, that could have been my out, either the single print fill or below the opening. But I'll be honest with you, with a gap, it was a decent sized gap, and we had those single prints. It's easy in hindsight, but we had those single prints above us, 3 sets. Now they filled 2 and even got into the third, which I would not have expected. But that would not have hurt me. I would have stayed out of the way on those because my first 2 trades would have been shorts in A and B that I would have made money on. I would have lost in C, but again, the bigger loss would have been the one in H when I took it and then it rallied because the others I would have gotten out of pretty quickly. So again, you have to know yourself. The tempo was horrendous. It was just that slow grind. Kudos to anybody who did take that long and held it all the way up. I take my hat off to you. But again, would have survived. Didn't expect it to go as far as it did today. But we also called L and M very well because we didn't have that much of a pullback. We didn't have a pullback at all from overnight and everything. I did say don't expect L and M to take out K's high and rip with a price probe. I said because we didn't get that pullback, I would not be surprised if L&M traded inside the day's range. And that's exactly what it did. And that's why it would have given me a good opportunity. And it did to take back all the money that I had been down. Destinations for the upside. 354.02 today's high. And then 354.03, those single prints that get filled at 355.16. They're 113 worth of ticks now from September 2nd. And then you have the 356.38 daily high, 356.38 daily high, and then 358.75 monthly high, all-time high. For the downside, 4 sets of single prints. First one is very small now. Starts at 352.12, gets filled at 11. M's low to E's high. Then we have 351.51. They get filled at 350.94. That is E's low to C. Then we have D's low, 350.73 to B's high, 350.21. And then the fourth set, C's low, 349.99 gets filled at A's high at 82. And then today's low of 349.06 and filling the gap at 347.35, a 171 point gap. We had an inside day, which you'll see on the chart 3 days ago. 4 days ago. No, 3 days ago. And we've gapped out of it to the upside 3 days in a row. 2 daily gaps and a weekly gap. Now, let's go to the charts. I'll just show you the weekly and daily. The big goal last week was to finish above 343. Well, they did that and boom, explode. Now, am I surprised we gapped higher today? Not necessarily, not at all. Am I surprised how much we took back from that trend day after gapping higher? Yeah, I didn't think we would take as much back as we did. But regardless, the bulls did what they needed to do. Now, again, the all-time high is their next destination on both the monthly and weekly. The daily still poses a challenge, so a one-time framing up in the weekly. The daily still has that challenge. It still has that trend day. It still has that last set. Here's your inside day. After a 3-day balance, inside day, explode to the upside. Gap, gap, gap. Is that poor structure? Oh, absolutely. Are we stretched out? Absolutely. Does that mean we can't get the all-time high first? Of course not. We can. I think, obviously, for the longer-term health of the market, you'd want to see some of this fill before you go get it and take it out in a more healthy structural style. Doesn't mean we can't get it. So it remains to be seen. Do I expect some consolidation tomorrow inside of today? Absolutely. I'd be kind of surprised if we gap higher again and fill that last set of single prints. And I would be just as surprised if we gap low and fill the weekly gap. So I would think we should get, and again, this is barring any tweet or headline. This is just on normal market action. I would expect some consolidation inside of today's range prior to making its next move. Do we later at some point tomorrow take out the high and finally finish these singles, or do we finally take back possibly a good part of today's trend day? All remains to be seen. The goal today was long or wrong early, or stay out of the way. Now, I said I did take some small shorts early. That I made money on A and B. I got hurt on some small ones after that. I knew my out. I did not fade this trend day all the way up. And once we got two-sided trade, and once we got to a level where I thought L&M was certainly going to trade inside today's range, I didn't have any problem taking shorts there and taking back what I had lost. Hope you had a great day. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Have a good night, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.